What if I told you there's a cat breed so massive, so distinctive, and so dog-like in personality that most people who meet one for the first time genuinely cannot believe it's actually a domestic cat? We're talking about a creature that can weigh up to 20 pounds, has a bushy tail that rivals any raccoon you've ever seen, and will literally follow you from room to room like a loyal golden retriever. Today we're diving deep into everything you need to know about the Maine Coon, and by the end of this video, you might just find yourself searching for breeders. So let's start at the very beginning, because the history of the Maine Coon is honestly one of the most fascinating and mysterious origin stories in the entire cat world. Nobody knows for certain where this breed came from, and that mystery is a huge part of what makes them so captivating. There are several theories floating around, and some of them are genuinely wild. The most popular theory, and honestly the one that most people love to repeat, involves Marie Antoinette, the Queen of France. The story goes that when the French Revolution was closing in, and her life was in very serious danger, she attempted to flee to America. She allegedly loaded a ship with her most prized possessions, including 6 of her beloved long-haired Turkish Angora cats. While Marie Antoinette never made it to the New World, her cats supposedly did, arriving on the shores of Maine and eventually breeding with local short-haired cats to create the foundation of what we now know as the Maine Coon. It's a romantic story, completely unverified of course, but cat historians love it. Another theory suggests that the breed descended from cats that were brought over by European sailors, particularly Vikings who traveled to North America centuries ago. The Norwegian forest cat, which shares a striking physical resemblance to the Maine Coon, was a common ship cat in Scandinavia, and some researchers believe those cats may have been left behind on American shores, eventually adapting to the harsh New England climate over many generations. This theory actually has a bit more biological credibility given the physical similarities between the two breeds. Now here's where the name gets really interesting, and where a lot of people get confused. You've probably heard someone say that Maine Coons are part raccoon. Maybe you've even wondered it yourself after seeing that enormous bushy tail and those distinctive facial markings. So let's clear this up right now once and for all. Maine Coons are absolutely not part raccoon. It is biologically impossible for a cat and a raccoon to produce offspring. They are completely different species with entirely different genetic structures. The name Maine Coon almost certainly comes from a combination of the state of Maine, where the breed developed and thrived, and a man named Captain Charles Coon, who was a seafaring captain known for keeping long-haired cats aboard his ship. When his ship docked in New England ports, his cats would wander off and mate with local cats. Kittens born in the area with that distinctive long-haired look became known informally as Coon's cats, a name that eventually evolved into Maine Coon. So there you go, mystery solved, no raccoon DNA required. Now let us talk about what these cats actually look like, because their appearance is just as impressive as their history. Maine Coons are the largest domestic cat breed recognized by major cat registries, and they have a slow maturation rate. They do not reach their full adult size until they are between 3 and 5 years old. If you get a Maine Coon kitten and think it is small, just wait, because it will keep growing for years. Their body is rectangular and muscular, with a broad chest and substantial bone structure. The coat is thick and shaggy with a silky texture that is longer around the stomach and shorter on the back and sides, giving it an uneven, almost wild look. They have a magnificent ruff around the neck that resembles a lion's mane, and their ears are large and wide at the base, with pointed tips often adorned with little tufts of fur called lynx tips. Their paws are large, round, and tufted, which historically helped them walk on top of snow like natural snowshoes. And then there is that tail.
So distinctive,
Long, full,
so
and dramatically
dog-like
bushy. It is one of the most striking features on any domestic cat. Maine Coons come in a huge variety of colors and patterns. You can find them in solid colors, tabby patterns, tortoiseshell, calico, bicolor, and more. The one color you will not find is pointed coloration, like you see in a Siamese, because that genetic pattern is not part of the breed standard. Now let us get into behavior, because this is where the Maine Coon truly separates itself from other cat breeds. These cats are dog-like in a way that goes beyond a trendy phrase. Maine Coons are intensely social animals who want to be near their people. They are not usually lap cats, but they will position themselves close to you constantly. They will follow you into the kitchen, sit outside the bathroom door, and settle at your feet while you watch television. They want proximity. They crave your company. They also tend to get along well with other pets and with children. Their temperament is unusually gentle and patient, and many owners describe them as getting along beautifully with dogs and other cats, and even being tolerant of enthusiastic toddlers. They are not easily rattled. They have a calm, steady energy that makes them wonderful family companions. Maine Coons are famously playful well into adulthood. They love interactive toys, puzzle feeders, and games that challenge them mentally. Many owners report that their cats can even be taught to play fetch. Another endearing trait is their voice. Maine Coons do not really meow. Instead, they produce chirping and trilling sounds, almost like little bird calls. Now let us talk about health. Maine Coons are generally healthy and hardy, but there are a few genetic conditions they are predisposed to. The most significant is hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, a form of heart disease that causes the heart muscle to thicken. Responsible breeders screen for this condition, so always ask about cardiac testing. Another condition is spinal muscular atrophy, a genetic disorder affecting the muscles of the lower spine and hind legs. It is not typically painful, but it does affect mobility. Hip dysplasia is also more common in Maine Coons than in other breeds, likely due to their large size. Regular veterinary checkups and maintaining a healthy body weight can help manage this risk. With proper care, Maine Coons typically live between 12 and 15 years, with many living longer. So why should you get a Maine Coon? If you want a cat that will enrich your daily life, be a real companion, entertain you with its personality, impress every guest, and form real emotional bonds with your family, the Maine Coon is in a class of its own. These are not just cats. They are experiences. They bring joy, warmth, humor, and personality into a home in a way that is hard to describe until you have lived with one. The biggest drawback is their need for regular grooming to prevent mats, and the reality that you will have cat hair everywhere. But if you do not mind that, and you love a large cat with a large personality that demands attention and playtime, this is the perfect cat for you. If you found this video helpful and want to learn more about amazing cat breeds, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. We are just getting started. See you in the next